All right. Well, hey, Coaches Up for Change. My name is Dee Corchin, and I am glad you're here tonight. I see us signing in for our Monday night community time for coaches, coaches only. I know we have a few people on this call that are checking us out for the first time. So welcome, either brand new coaches or some considering coaching. So we're glad that you are with us. We come together, for community. We're all on this mission together, but we also come to learn and to grow, to build in our proficiency and our skills. And that's something that we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm excited. Last week, we talked about really what was possible. Frank Davis did a great job on really modeling what was possible, how to build this business through clients and coaching coaches, and what would really be possible. So tonight we're going to start the process of walking through how do we help a client be awakened to the idea of possibilities and with and coaching, and how do we start those conversations? How do we make it conversational and not weird? So we're going to go through that. I'll be partnering with Shauna Davis tonight, and then we'll have a few of our FIBICs, our fully integrated business coaches, participating with us. But before we do, just a couple quick announcements. Excited, it's September 26th already. So hard to believe that this weekend is October. So that means we are closing out on the month of September. Congratulations to everyone that you guys are helping as clients, that you have welcomed on as new coaches. Everything that we do with Optavia is to serve and to help others. And Optavia created an incredible opportunity to reward those that want to continue to serve and help more new clients. So we've got the Accelerator bonus and the Accelerator Assist bonus that many of you guys have qualified for, or on the fringes of earning it or earning the higher one. So congratulations for that, because all that means and it represents is more and more people being exposed to what's possible with what it is that we have to offer. So finishing out on the end of the month, if you need to work with your mentor, get creative on ideas, brainstorming, we love to help. So never hesitate to raise your hand to your mentorship to support you. And then something else I wanted to tell you, we're really fortunate that we are in alignment with Dan Bell. Dan Bell was the partner with Dr. Anderson who started our company, and some of his top leaders. We are in alignment with them on providing training, and we're really looking to consolidate and become very consistent with what we know high-performing teams are doing. And they are offering a special training. I just posted it in Coaches Up for Change, but I wanted to show the image. If I can find it here, give me one second. Well, shoot, I might have accidentally closed it. Let's see. Can you guys see that image? The Set for Success? No, didn't come up. Okay. Well, if you go to Coaches Up for Change, it is absolutely in there. But there is a new 6-week training series. It is starting this Saturday, October 1st. It'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Back it up if you're on one of the other time zones, 1 hour, and it's really designed for senior coach and above. And what they're going to be doing is walking through everything from a systems perspective and consistency, from health assessments to how to effectively integrate your clients, celebration calls, coach explorers, navigating the coach app, and how to use your map, your monthly action plan, and most importantly, how to use it so that you can fill your funnel with new contacts. So this is going to be something, whether you're an experienced coach or brand new, like a new senior coach, it's going to be perfect for you. And if you are coaching coaches, I think this will be perfect, because we are really looking for consistency and alignment. Marie, thanks for that question. It will be a 1-hour call. All right. So also excited, because the month of October means that next week, October 6th through 8th, is our Awaken Leadership Conference. So congratulations to the 64 people that qualified for that. And we're invited, and that will be attending. Actually, almost everyone who qualified is attending. So we are super excited. That is in Atlanta next week. So we're excited to see those of you guys who are coming for that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a form. Several of our leaders were at a leadership training that took place in Portland, Oregon earlier this month. And a form was introduced that actually it kind of slipped through the cracks with us. It was something that I knew about years ago, but it just kind of slipped through the cracks. And it's a form that we're going to encourage. I'm going to give you the link for it, that we really encourage that you print off. And for every health assessment that you do when somebody becomes a client, print off one of these evaluation forms and attach it to it. So I'm going to pull up the form and get the link for you. And while I do, Shauna is going to start our conversation.
Thank you, Dee, and so excited for all of you. This form is great. I love this. I'm excited to start using this. Obviously, we've been doing some of the things that are on the form, but this form just has everything laid out really nicely for us. And it starts with us bringing our clients to a tips call. And one of the things that we know is 1 out of every 5 clients is more than likely going to step into coaching. So if you have, 15 to 20 clients, you've got some coaches in there somewhere. And a tips call is a great place to bring them to sometimes identify a coach for you on your team. And usually you are taking this to your closest FIBIC mentor or above. So check with your mentor coach if you don't know who that would be, and they'll let you know who you need to bring these calls to. And so what we're going to do on these calls is we're going to celebrate your client. We're going to offer tips. It's exactly what it is. It's a tip celebration. We're going to help them to see that there's a bigger team here supporting them. We're going to make them feel welcome. And this is often a time where you're going to get to see your client face to face for the first time if you have clients that are outside of your area. And I love these because I'm always excited to meet my clients face to face. But one of the other really important things that's going to happen on this tips call is the mentor coach that you bring this client to, they're very experienced at picking up on little cues, and they're very experienced at asking great questions. And sometimes you may feel like you've dripped coaching and dripped coaching and dripped coaching and nothing is happening, but you bring them to somebody else and they'll hear something that just clicks. So don't ever discount any of these clients. Any client that you have has potential to be a coach. So I've told you what it is. When do we do this tips call? We usually try to do it about a week in. And your client's excited then, they've lost some weight, they have all this full belief in the program, and it's just a great time to get them in there to meet someone else. It's going to encourage them and lift them up and support them, ask them some really great questions, and really drip coaching. And, they might just come out and ask them, you'd make a great coach. And sometimes that's something that when we're a new coach, we're afraid to do. But your mentor coach knows when the right time to do that is. If you haven't done it and you've got clients that are past their week mark, it's still a great time to do a tips call. It's never too late. If you've let some of the clients slip through the cracks and they've gone months and they're still on the program, it's still not too late to do a tips call. You just say, hey, I wanted to let you know, I'd love for you to meet one of my mentor coaches, and we're going to get on a Zoom with them. And then you just find out what's a good time for them. How do you set this up? I like to have my coach's calendar pulled up on my computer when I set this up. So usually when I'm doing my check-in calls, I'll have Lori's calendar pulled up. And at the end of the call, I'll go, hey, Mary, it's a great time now for you to meet one of my mentor coaches. I can't wait for you to talk to Lori. She's been coaching longer than I have, and she has some great tips and might have some really good advice for you on this journey. What's usually a good time for you? I don't even ask them if they want to do it. Please don't ask them if they want to do it. Just assume it's part of the process. And they'll usually say, well, gosh, I don't know. Thursday nights are usually good. And I'm just going to pop in and I'm going to see if she has any openings on Thursday night. And if she doesn't, I'm going to say, are there any other, nights of the week or maybe Saturday morning or whatever she's got? And usually we're just going to come up with a time right there on that phone call. And I'm going to go ahead and plug them in and book it. Make sure that you are getting all their information. You're getting their email address in there. Most of your coaches will have a place for their phone number at the bottom. And then just, tell them, I'm going to be calling you, some touching base with you sometime that day to confirm this. And make sure you do that too, because if you don't confirm these calls that day, you and your mentor coach are going to be sitting there wondering where your client is. And you never know what will come up. So most of the coaches use Calendly, so it's really easy to go in there and just book a time. You don't have to go back and forth and to find out, whose schedule's open and is this good and is that good. That gets really tedious. So it's never too late to do one. And it's a great thing, to do with your client as far as encouraging them and lifting them up. So make sure that if you haven't been practicing this, that you go ahead and start, get all your clients out, go through. I always write on my health assessment tips call done and the date we did it on. Now, we also can follow back up and do one about a month later. If I have clients that I feel like need just a little bit more encouragement, I'll bring them back. I'll say, hey, you've lost 10 more pounds. Let's get back in there and celebrate again. So I hope that helps you to understand what the tips call is, why we do it, and when we do it. Now, I want to introduce to you someone on this team who is fabulous with this. She is so good at bringing on coaches, and it's Julie Walker. Julie is a FIBIC and has been coaching for, well, I'm going to let her tell you how long she's been coaching, but she has a lot of success with bringing on coaches. And the reason is she follows the process. She follows the process and she brings her clients to her mentor for this tips and celebration call. So Julie, you want to come off mute and share with us for just a few minutes?
Hey guys. Yeah. Hey, Shauna and everybody. So it's interesting. Dee and I were texting about this, and she's my mentor. So I bring my clients to Dee for celebration calls. And I think early on, what was funny is, and tricky was, Dee and I, like, when celebrations were new, we were trying to figure out, like, how does this work? And what do we both say? And who talks? And, like, it's a process. And as I was thinking about this, I thought one of the best things you probably can do is if you're doing these, make sure you have a good process set with your FIBIC. And if you're not doing them, make sure you have a good game plan process with your FIBIC, because you want it to be a team effort. You don't want it to feel like, I have no idea what they're going to say on this, and I'm kind of scared if they're talking about coaching. You want to feel comfortable. You want your clients to feel comfortable. And obviously we want to drip coaching. And if you haven't yet as a coach, it is the perfect time for your mentor to talk about coaching. And with my clients, what I like to, or with my coaches and their clients, I like to, hey, are people noticing? And I'll have that game plan with my coaches and say, I'll probably drip coaching. Is that good with you? And they're like, yes. And I'll ask the clients, have anybody noticed in your world? And it's a perfect segue to ask and mention and drip coaching with them. And some people want to talk more about it. It's the perfect time to schedule and explore. Some people, well, I haven't really thought about that. And it's a great time to talk a little bit more. So I think when you and your coach have that process in place and a teamwork effort, it feels more comfortable and you'll feel like at ease with doing it versus like, oh, I don't know what they're going to talk about. And I don't want them to bring up coaching. I haven't done it yet, So if you work with your coach, it will be a lot smoother. And using the Calendly link is definitely helpful. If you're, are there any FIBCs, I wonder, that don't use Calendly? But if not, make sure you know some good times for those. Your coach can probably tell you, like, these evenings or when I do those, and just make sure you know when they're available. And then, like Shauna said, don't have to go back and forth, just know and make it smooth and just mention it. This is what we do. Would you like to celebrate next week? I'm thinking next week would be a great week to celebrate. You'll be on week 1, or if it's week 2, whatever that looks like, just roll right into it and schedule it, because it will go a lot easier that way.
Thank you so much, Julie. And you can see why Julie is so successful with this. She's got such an amazing team in her organization. So Dee's going to pull back up that form so you can look at this next section. As you get to know your client on your weekly check-ins, you're going to be using these next couple of sections, the identifying and the qualifying. Now, as you're getting to know your clients, you're going to ask them questions about their life. Are you enjoying your job? How is work going? What did you do over the weekend? And you're going to pick up on so many little things about your client. We're not just using this check-in call. How much weight did you lose? Are you doing your lean and green? And are you getting all your water in? Because if we do that week after week, we're never going to learn anything about our clients personally. And clients will fill you in. You'll hear little cues if they have any leaks in their boat, so to speak. And we know that Optavia is the answer for everything. In every area of their life, we can meet a need. So as you're doing this, you're going to look at this form under the identifying. And this is using a 1 to 4 scale, with 1 being the highest. So are they moving forward with their health? Are they really on their program well? That's a 1. You know, where is their level of integration? Are they plugging into the page? Are they into their life books? Are they engaging? You know, I've got clients who are all over that Eat, Live, Be Up, healthy page. They're always engaging. They're always commenting. They're always encouraging. I mean, you're looking for that. Are they open to learning more? So you're looking at all of these little things here, and you're putting now, if they're struggling every week and they're not on their program, they're probably not going to be a 1 if they're moving forward with their health. But they're working on it. So you're going to, find, are they successful in other areas of their lives? That's where they're employed. Are you happy with their job? What do you do? Oh, do you love that? And a lot of times you're probably going to hear, I hate it. And are they sharing, family and friends with you? Are they actively talking to their, coworkers and their family about this amazing journey they're on? All of these things you're looking for, and you're just going to kind of score them on that. 1 being the highest, 2 being next. And if they're high on that list, then we're going to move to the qualifying part of this form. And once you qualify this client, you're going to start talking to them about, what do they want out of life? Would they be interested in coaching? You're going to dig into a little bit. Are you looking for more in your life? Do you have a child going off to college? What that looks like is just exploring their needs. That's all you're doing. And, you don't want this to sound like a job interview. You're just having conversation with your clients. And I ask my clients all kinds of questions when I'm on the phone. And then you want to listen well, because when you listen well, you'll hear those things. You'll hear, do they have a financial need? They may be looking for something more meaningful in life. I'm going to tell you, that is where I was. I was desperate for community. I was desperate for friends. We had moved a lot, and I didn't have a lot of friends in my area. I just got tired of making friends. So I was desperate for a community. For me, that's the main reason I stepped into coaching, was to be a part of something bigger than myself. So listen for all those little things. And of course, we know that accountability is huge. If you have a client who's struggling, it's time to talk to them about what kind of things would keep them accountable. Stepping into coaching would keep them accountable. So when you're qualifying, you're digging deeper and looking more into their why. And maybe what some of their needs are. And I think Dee's always the one that talks about, you're looking for leaks in their boat. I love that, because that's exactly what you're looking for. Do they have a desire to help other people? And, are they struggling in that area? So this is a fabulous form for you to it's all laid out for you. Just check, check, check. Make sure you're getting them to, and you'll see up in the tips call section, you've got an integration call number 2. Remember, I said earlier that you're sometimes going to circle back around. If you do that first tips call and they don't step into coaching, but you still think there's a need there and a desire, and you think they'd be a great coach, and maybe they're sending you referrals, but they're kind of scared of the coaching thing, bring them back around again to another tips call with your mentor coach. And I'm going to turn this over to Dee, because Dee's going to talk about the rest of this.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Julie, for that. So much, I think, is what Shauna was referencing and Julie about. It's really how we're posturing it with clients. As the leader of the organization, I can see how many clients we bring in on a monthly basis. And I also know the number of FIBICs we have, the number of leaders. And I know we're not doing, if we brought in 350 clients as an organization, we're not doing 350 tips calls yet. We're ready for you, but I just know that we're not. And so that just means a lot of people are falling through the cracks. And what we don't want to do is be the one that potentially got in the way of somebody not seeing what's possible. As Shauna said, about 1 out of 5 is going to step into coaching. So not everybody is, but that integration call does a lot more things than just coaching. It really reinforces everything you've been telling them about getting involved in the Facebook group, in the community, being on the Tuesday night calls, the importance of the life book. And the most important thing we're trying to do in that is really take it beyond a diet. And I think I've shared with you before this great example I heard that was, an example of a ski instructor that was out in Utah that was leading a group of blind skiers down a hill. And this coach saw that, and this coach was like, wow, I didn't even realize like blind people could ski. I guess that makes sense, but they have to be taught. And so many people who come to Optavia, they come with one mindset, right? They come with the mindset that they've always had about weight loss, et cetera, not even realizing all that's possible. So all we're doing is really just starting to start the conversation, and we're not looking to make anything weird. We are looking, as Dan Bell says, we don't know if this will be for somebody or not, but we're trying to make it a comfortable conversation. So, the formula for this form, it's called I plus Q equals A. So identify, who are you working with that you think has some potential here for it? Qualify, who has a need? So identify, qualify, and then the A is we're going to approach them on about exploring the opportunity. And I absolutely want I want you to write the word explore just in bold and put it on your computer, because we're not asking them if they want to become a health coach. We're asking them if they would like to know what it would look like. Now, before I take this form down, what I want to show is here, I just want you to notice, it says invited to see if they were open to health coaching would be a match. And then it says date, 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 date. And then when they said yes to doing the Coach Explore. So it is not unusual on this tips call for somebody to say, oh, coaching. Oh, I don't know about that. I need to get a little further into my journey. That's okay. That's kind of why we have an opportunity to circle back with them. But that's going to give you the opportunity to then get in and have those conversations during their weekly calls. And then they may turn you down a few times. Does anybody on this call know who Meg Johnson is? Just anybody? Of course you know who Meg Johnson is. We have a joke. I mean, I would have to get two, 3, 4, 5 of those forms, because I must have asked her and invited her to explore coaching 16 times. And she had a huge amount of fear that she couldn't be a coach, right? She had struggled with her weight, et cetera. So I just want you to know, to get a no to coaching, please don't take that as forever, right? It probably means not yet, just like so many people who say not yet to our program. So, the posturing of it and the invitation, and then just like Julie said, when you bring them to the Coach Explore, that is a conversation. We have a script that we follow. We ask a lot of questions about them, like, hey, why are you interested in learning more about this? If you were going to do this, one, we know it's going to hold you accountable for your own goals, but you're also going to make impact and income. Which one of those are you more attracted to at this point? Like, we're just going to get that conversation flowing. And again, my favorite phrase from Dan Bell is, hey, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I'm glad we're taking a look at it. And as soon as people realize they have a choice in the matter, because at the end of the day, they do, that you're less likely to get that stiff arm from them. If they feel like we're swooping in, oh, here it comes, the coaching thing, right? It's so not about us, it's about them, right? Because I can tell you, in 11 years of coaching, I've talked clients into program, and I've coached coaches into coaching because of lack of knowledge, lack of experience, lack of knowing really why that wasn't in their best interest. And it never is a win. So we always want to get the match. And a lot of times they have to be awakened to what it is that's possible. So we had Julie share. We're going to have another FIBIC share, Vicki Feldman. Vicki does a great job with both celebration calls and tips calls, and bringing a lot of people to Explores, not only just clients, but different people in her world. So Vicki, maybe you can pop off and just share with us kind of how do you frame it up for people, and what's been the advantage of using this team coaching for you?
So thanks, Dee. Yeah, I feel like almost everything has been said, which is fantastic. I think that, and I was at that conference in Oregon, and I heard very clearly from Dan Bell, we have the goods, we have the process, we have the solution for a lot of people. And we know, so much parallels the clients, right? The 5 and 1. We know if people follow the 5 and 1, they're going to have results. We know if people follow the process of coaching coaches, you will have success. But I agree with Dee. I mean, I've been coaching for a long time, and we didn't have a process. I mean, back in my day, we didn't have the text thread. We didn't have that, and yet I managed to stay on plan and survive. But it's just interesting how all of this parallels. And I always look for the keys, the clues. And if you think about how many people that have you had as a client that said no 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times before they actually came back to you and said, you know what, I'm ready to do your program. So it's the same thing with coaching, because sometimes I feel like people like, I can't find clients or I can't find coaches. We're not really trying to find anybody. We're trying to invite, as Dee said, and open the door or see if the door is open, because people don't know. Most clients, they're coming in with that tunnel vision of, I'm going on this plan. I'm not coming into this thinking about coaching. I mean, we have the rare people that come in, for a business opportunity, but most people don't even realize the other world. So how can they make a decision about coaching if they don't even know what that really means? And in my experience, a lot of times what happens is it's the person that's close to them that says, hey, I want to do what you're doing. And that's usually where they start thinking, do I want to refer them to my coach, or do I want to coach them myself? But then it's our opportunity to educate them about how is it going to help them? We can ask the questions, but we know, right? We have the vision that they can't even see yet. It's kind of like getting to the mountain to see that, oh my gosh, there's another 10,000 feet. You can't even see that 10,000 feet because you haven't gotten to the first, precipice. One of the things that I think I'm acutely aware of, and Dee and I actually had an Explore today, when and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but when I can see somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh, they could totally blow this out of the world. They can help so many people. They could have such a great life with this, but they don't see it. I can fire hose. I can you can do this and this and this, and you can, and I can go kind of crazy, because I have a vested interest as a coach for them, right? They're like my client or my friend, or, that I can see. But what's so cool about bringing that call today to Dee is she doesn't have the vested interest that I have. And therefore she doesn't fire hose, and she asks questions. And what that enabled me to see today was she was asking questions. I had somebody who's a potential coach, and she has another side business, and it's product and everything is clean. And what drew her to that? And I heard her say, well, I'm going to check out your product and see. And I heard product. And then what I was able to see just watching this conversation with her and Dee was, she thinks this is a product, right? She doesn't even see the whole vision yet because she hasn't been a client to know what else we have. But just being the observer in a conversation, that's why there's 2 people in the conversation, because when 2 other people are talking, you have a different lens than when you're the one trying to impart information and hoping that they get it. Does that resonate with anybody? Yeah. Okay. That's really what I think I wrote here, 2 people listening instead of 1, really can lend that different perspective. I want to reiterate something that Shauna said about it never being not being too late. I always I just had a day 4 call with a client, and I just said, she talked about doing her weigh-in day. I said, you know what? And that's when we do a tips call, and what days are good for you. I never put it as an option. This is a process. I agree with Dee. The tips calls are lost. The Coach Explores are lost. We are missing, not only are we missing opportunity, but our people are missing opportunities. So that being said, I love the fact that there's those multiple dates, because not everybody's in the same space. We're not all in the headspace. A month from now, someone's going to be in a different headspace. We have life happen to us. We have job changes. We have kid changes. We have financial needs. We have our transformation, and all those can impact. It's like seasons. It can all impact somebody's decision of whether they're ready. So yeah, you just don't want to ask that. Always have those glasses on. Always put on those lenses and just double check. Inspect what you're expecting and see if your expectations are a little bit too low.
Yeah, that's such a great point. Yeah, good job, Vicki. Yeah, what if your expectations are too low, right? How sad is it if we are actually making the decision for other people, or if we drop the ball? and there might be other people in your world, like just like Vicki said, seasons change. When I first met Julie Apple Walker, she was a personal trainer. She had a vision how she was going to do her business, and she was going to go grocery shopping with people and clean pantries, and and I had to be patient till she realized. And it was how long, Julie? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years, right? Of just
Watching
staying in
me.
touch with Julie, inviting her to Health and Hope nights. One time I even invited her to Dr. A was going to be in Charlotte, and I invited her, and and she was like, who's Dr. A? Like, why would I want to go? And I was like, I was like, Vicki, like I'm fire hosing her why she wants to be there, but she was not ready yet. But she never told me not to call her again. So, so I waited till the day my phone rang from Julie Apple Walker. And Julie, you had something today, right? With somebody that you had been building relationship with.
Yeah, I texted Dee. I started working out at a new boot camp called Burn Boot Camp here close to my house, a year ago. And today I got a message from one of the girls that I've been able to talk with and get to know. And she said, don't you do Optavia? I need to talk to you. So we got her set up today. So a whole year, y'all. It just takes relationship building.
Absolutely. Be patient. I always say we're playing the long game here, right? And so just be patient, because you never know when that person is going to be ready, whether it be for the program, whether it be for coaching. And we're here for the long, I always tell people I'm not going anywhere, I'll be here when you're ready. So I hope this was helpful to you. I have a question for you, really a challenge. I'll give you a Meg Johnson double dog challenge. If you have not been doing tips calls, or you have not done one in the past week, I would double dog dare you to go through your client binder and schedule 2 tips calls with your mentor. 2 tips calls to take place within the next week. Practice your language of just saying, oh my gosh, I just realized this is the week we get to do a tips call with my mentor. Like, just if you frame it that way, they'll just go with it, because remember, they're the blind skier. We are guiding them through. So great. Well, I see lots of great feedback in the comments. So thank you to Shauna, to Julie, to Vicki for this conversation. Thank you to you guys for being here, showing up. I know that if you're like me, you're eternally grateful that somebody didn't give up on you, right? And that invited you to coaching. Next week, Lori Cole is going to share with us on coaching a coach. So we're kind of following a series here. So next is on coaching a coach. So you guys are all welcome to get on the large group community call. That's at 8:45. And then Dan Bell invites us onto his team call at 8:45 p.m. And those call links are in the top 3 posts, and also the email that you get on Monday morning. So thank you for being here. If you need any help towards the end of as we close out this month, reach to myself or your mentor. We are here to help you. All right. Bye, you guys. Thanks for everything you're doing.